Hey, friend. Welcome back to the Concierge Weight Loss Podcast. I'm Kara Hackleman, and this is the second episode in our Mindset for Success series. Last week, we talked about self-sabotage, and today we're diving into something every single one of us experiences at some point on this journey: setbacks. Big ones, little ones, unexpected ones, totally self-inflicted ones, they all count. And today I want to show you how to bounce back from them with compassion and confidence and even forward with momentum. Because here's the truth: resilience isn't about avoiding setbacks, it's about what you do next. So let's talk about how to build that bounce back muscle, shall we? Okay, let me get vulnerable with you for just a second because this one's not from 10 years ago. It's 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 happened to me more recently. A little over a year ago, I regained about half of the total weight that I had lost. Yeah. As a weight loss coach, gaining weight. And let me tell you, I panicked. The self-talk, it was brutal. See, you're a fraud. You're not even good enough. You should be better than this. Why would they listen to you? I even thought maybe I need to find a new diet or one that I'll actually stick with this time. Does that all sound familiar? I know I'm the coach. I'm not supposed to have that happen to me, right? But I paused, I took a breath, and I remembered something important. I already knew what to do. My brain was just freaking out. I already had the habits that helped me lose weight before. I just stopped doing some of them. And that didn't make me broken or less than, not good enough. It just meant I needed to figure out maybe why I wasn't doing them anymore. Start trying to practice them again, right? So instead of obsessing over specific foods again, I looked at why behind the habits, the why. Why wasn't I following the habits or following through with what I said I would do? Why was I overeating again or so much? And the answer wasn't lack of discipline. It was emotion, stress and disconnection, mental burnout, things that needed care, not criticism. That was my bounce back moment. Not a new plan, not a new diet or something new and shiny, not a new meal tracker. It was just me checking in with me. Let's redefine. Let's redefine it. Resilience. Resilience isn't about being tough. It's about pushing through at all costs. It's about your willingness to try again, to look at the mess, the mistake, the missed days and say, okay, I'm still here. What now? Resilience means trying something new, trying a different combination, trying again just to learn something, even when you're not sure if it'll work. And it's not you strong holding yourself and getting yourself under control. Like I hear people say, I just need to do the things. No, resilience is about trying, but so much of it is with compassion, not about bullying yourself into it. So let me share a client story that hits this perfectly. She is a pro, like a professional person in her very successful field, okay? And every year she has an extremely busy season. And every year she'd say, I don't know what happened. It just fell apart, or it was all out of my control, or I'm barely making it through this season. I just have to get through however long the season was. I can't remember. But this time, I think it was a couple months long. And so, but this time, while we were going through this season, I was digging a little deeper with her. And what she realized was that she hadn't forgotten how to eat well or take care of herself. She'd just gotten overwhelmed. So she told herself, it's too much. I don't have time. And that thought led her right back to old patterns: overeating, skipping meals, nighttime snacking, no sleep. Those were the habits that she practiced when she got overwhelmed. That was actually how she took care of herself because it felt comforting to her to overeat. It felt comfortable to her to go ahead and stay focused on the busyness of work and skip a meal from time to time, or just snack, or have extra desserts, or nighttime snacking, or staying up late to watch TV because that was things she was doing for herself. She thought she was taking care of herself. in the way that she knew how. She just didn't realize those old behaviors weren't helping her now. She had learned newer ways. No, she was not lazy, but because that used to be how she coped, that's why she was doing it again. So instead of shaming herself, we asked, what's one small thing, a small thing that still feels doable even now? Something you can do to take care of yourself since you know it's going to be so crazy. What can you decide ahead of time? So she started making easy, compassionate decisions ahead of time. Not perfect ones, just possible ones. Like have a frozen meal in the freezer at work, something that she'd already like put five of them in there and she could just pick something, or taking her nighttime walk. And you know what happened? She felt empowered, not perfect, but in control within the chaos because we weren't going to get out of the busy season each year. That is what resilience is. So, a lot of people think that when they mess up, they have to double down. Like, I'll be extra good tomorrow. I'll eat less tomorrow. I'll stick to a salad and water tomorrow. I'll go all like low carb, no sugar, all water, 10,000 plus steps, all the extra. You know the rules. But that just creates more discomfort. And when they can't keep up with all those rules, they feel like they've really failed. So they give up again. Let's just stop the cycle. When my clients are in a setback, here's what we do. We collect the wins. You're in a setback. You don't feel like you're supposed to collect the wins, but that's what we do first. We collect wins, even tiny ones. What felt good this week? What helped just a little? What choice went better than it could have? Then I want them to find one small thing that they can try, something that feels doable, even if it feels so small, so insignificant, too small to even matter. Spoiler, it's not too small. Those tiny little habits are how we build trust with ourselves. They feel so doable. We think we can do that at least. We just have to make sure we know that we can count that as a win. So I see this a lot. Women who care so much that when they don't do things right, they just beat themselves up. They say things like, I messed everything up. And you know what I say? Everything? Really? That's a really big word. Let's look closer. What exactly did you mess up? Well, what else worked? Because no one messes everything up. And that kind of language just reinforces shame. So instead, I guide them to look for what went right. What little thing went right? Even if all it was that you stopped at the bag of Oreos and you didn't get another bag out. Or maybe you left one Oreo in the container. What went right? What they learned. I guide them to look for what they learned, what awareness they gained, even if the outcome wasn't perfect. Because awareness, that's a win. Learning, a win. Trying again, super big win. So try this. Say, thank you, me, for trying something, even if it didn't work. Or you might tell yourself, what can I try again? A little differently, or maybe a little simpler. See the difference? Instead of quitting, now you're maybe a little curious. You're learning, you're leaning into it, you're building your resilience. I want to say this clearly. You can feel disappointed. That is allowed, especially when you were trying really hard. But failure is not the end. It only becomes the end if you give up. So, if you are tempted to escape the disappointment with food or by quitting, I want you to pause and ask, what's one thing I can try again today? Just to see how it goes. Not sure of the outcome, but let's just see how it goes. What's one thing I can try again today? That's where the power is. So, here's a journal prompt for you to help you build resilience this week. What have I learned from what didn't work? What's one thing I'm willing to try again? And if you know like how to try it differently or something you want to give yourself some information about, write that down too. What have I learned from that didn't work? And what's one thing I'm willing to try again? That's it. One lesson, one try. Just write that down. I'd love to hear what you have. Send that in to me for sure. So when a habit it didn't stick, I ask my clients, do we need to repeat it? Do we need to change it? Or do we just need to simplify it? And you know what? if as soon as I asked them that, the information was all inside of them. They didn't even realize they possessed that information, but it broke the cycle of them just criticizing and judging themselves. And they're able to stop for a moment and then tell me, I just need to try it again. Or no, we need to change it up a little bit. Or, that was way too much my first go around. Like, let's just simplify it a little bit. I want to focus on one thing. They're always able to tell me. So you don't need a new plan. Not always. You just need to keep showing up. And if you're feeling stuck, that doesn't mean you're broken. It just means it's time to try again with compassion. So resilience, it isn't magic. It's not motivation. It's just showing up for yourself one small decision at a time. It's about giving yourself the grace to grow and the space to be human. You've got this, even after a setback, especially after a setback. If you are ready to stop spiraling after setbacks and want support building resilience, I've got you. Come join my free webinar. You'll learn what works, why it works, and how to simplify this entire process. Save your seat at coachingkara.com/sign up or book a free personalized solutions call with me. Let's talk through your specific situation. You'll walk away with clarity and an action plan that you actually want to follow. You can book that at coachingkara.com/free call. You don't need to do more. You don't need to do any of it perfectly. You just need to try again with grace. That's resilience. See you next week for episode 3, Redefining Success Beyond the Scale. It's going to shift everything you thought success had to look like.